1, 2, and 3. Welcome back. I'm Natalie Vaughn with Genesis Financial Services, and we're here with Jeffrey Taylor of College Funding Resources. Jeffrey, tell us about why people should be preparing, even today in this economy, for their children's college education.
Okay. Well, keep in mind that education itself, regardless if you're talking about a formal education or a credential or certification or what have you, education is the bedrock to any civilized community. Mm-hmm. Without it, you will not be able to progress. Mm-hmm. So preparing for college is very instrumental, especially considering the fact the cost of college will continue to rise despite the economy.
You know, one thing I was thinking about not long ago, and that is that, you know, the generation before us could afford to have a high school education. It was all that was required. It was all that was necessary. It was just what was expected. And now, our generation, you know, if you just have a college a high school diploma, that's just going to get you a job. You actually have to have further education, whether that's vocational, whether that's a 4-year degree program, or whether that is some sort of trade. But you have to have an education to move up in today's society. My children, your children, will not have an opportunity in today's marketplace without a college education. And so when you're talking about things are tight right now financially, money's being stretched in a lot of different areas in most households, how do you tell yourself, I can still manage to do this?
Well, you brought a couple of points up. First of all, let me share, I have 2 sons that are currently in college.
Okay.
And my oldest son is going to be graduating next coming semester from Wayne State University, as a matter of fact. As a certified college planner with over 20 years of experience, I've seen firsthand how parents are just not prepared for the cost of college. Now, what we have to keep in mind is that we are shifting from the industrial age into the information age. And that's the reason why you can no longer graduate from high school and go get a job and start making $50,000 without any type of formal education, regardless if it's in the form of a vocational or certification or what have you. You have to have some form of continuing education so that you can prove your ability to solve someone's problem. So when it comes to paying for college, you want to prepare yourself early enough so that it doesn't overwhelm. And unfortunately, most parents don't do that. I recently read a survey where financial aid administrators say that parents have unrealistic expectations, and they expect the colleges to foot the bill for their children rather than the parent making sacrifices and being prepared to send their kids to college.
I think too, a lot of times, even with the preparation, you know, I was helping my niece fill out, you know, some of her forms to go to school. And, you know, that's a job in itself, you know, financial aid and just the other forms, and even myself now back in school for some other certifications. That's a whole nother level of commitment to discipline, to say, listen, I've got to do this, I've got to know how to do it, where's the money going to come from? You know, if you don't already have a retirement that you can possibly pull the source from, the government shortening their availability for funds to actually get money to do, you know, college education. Financial aids are shrinking. Now, I was watching on the news the other day about a young lady that was doing a lot of different things for grants. Very unique things that companies were making available for her to jump through a lot of different hoops for grants. And, you know, but that was one grant for one individual where there are hundreds of thousands of college kids. You know, so what are the 4 basic steps that a person can do right now today to prepare themselves for tomorrow?
Okay. Let's first of all, let's talk about what college planning is and what it isn't. Okay. When someone comes to us, particularly when you have a child who's a senior and they have not properly prepared, then we have to go into emergency 911 assistance. one of the biggest